Okay, let's talk about a real spicy topic going on around in the world of tech at the moment. It's known as vibe coding. Yes, it's a term that sufficed earlier this year by a guy called Andre Karpathy in, I think it was February this year, but I'm not too sure. Vibe coding, as I interpret it, is essentially relying on the act of using AI tools and prompt engineering to essentially guide the coding process, rather than relying on solely the traditional approach where developers would write code line by line from scratch. Instead of spending hours architecting everything up front or memorizing syntax, the developer basically relies on feeding prompts to generate code and add it and refine it to build a usable solution or product, essentially. As you can tell, this has created quite a bit of controversy and uproar in the tech space, especially online. I'm seeing it everywhere on like LinkedIn and YouTube. So it's definitely upset quite a lot of people. There are a lot of people that are probably happy it's a thing, but definitely a lot of upset people, especially developers. Notice quite a lot of frustration and pushback on it, and honestly, it's pretty understandable. Basically, today, what I'm going to talk about is vibe coding from not from a developer's perspective, but a business owner's perspective. Because I am a developer of 8 years, and I also run my own web and app development business, so I'm a business owner as well. I've got views from both sides that I think I can chime in with on this. There are a few key reasons why developers might feel quite uneasy about this. Number one is probably job security concerns. There's a growing fear that as AI tools become more advanced, companies will try to replace us developers entirely, seeing AI as a cheaper and faster alternative, even if that's not the reality yet. Number two would be devaluation of skill and experience. Developers spend years honing their craft, learning best practices, understanding system design, debugging, testing, writing clean, scalable code, all those things that you only really will learn best on the job and being a developer. When someone with no technical background can now vibe code something functional just by using AI prompts, it can feel like for sure that hard-earned skill set is starting to become undervalued or even dismissed. Number three would probably be a fear of lower standards in code quality. AI generated code can often be messy, inefficient, or possibly even insecure, especially when it's being driven by someone who doesn't understand what they're actually building and doesn't know how to read it. It's basically like someone trying to write a report in Swedish, but they speak Chinese. It's not really going to work unless you've got some help or some tool or a translator of some kind. Many devs worry that they'll be the ones stuck cleaning up the mess later, debugging broken features, fixing logic errors, or rewriting AI-produced code that was built without really true proper understanding. Number four would be probably the loss of craftsmanship. For some, coding isn't just a job, it's a craft. It's about solving complex problems in elegant ways, building scalable systems, and taking pride in clean, efficient code. The rise of vibe coding can for sure feel like it's turning a deep, thoughtful process into a throwaway shortcut. Number five would be probably uncertainty about what makes a good developer now. The goalposts are essentially shifting, and if AI can generate most of the code, like what skills actually matter most now? Developers are left wondering, is my value now in prompting AI, or is it in maintaining code that someone else vibe coded? And honestly, I get it. These concerns are valid. The industry is changing really fast. That being said, the tech industry has probably always been one of those industries that changes fast all the time. So in terms of industry changing fast, like obviously that's not new, but definitely the fact that AI is now introduced into the tech industry publicly, that definitely has changed things a lot faster. But here's the thing, just because the tools are evolving, it doesn't mean developers are becoming obsolete. It just means that our role is evolving, and the developers who embrace that evolution will become more valuable than ever. AI can assist with code, sure, but it still lacks things like critical thinking, system design, and business context, and that developer intuition that only comes from years of experience. And I totally understand why this whole shift feels frustrating. I still, to this day, meet quite a lot of people, honestly, who don't really value what we do as developers. They think it's just clicking buttons, or that we somehow make magic happen on a screen.
You're a wizard, Harry.
And the truth is, well, it doesn't really matter because a lot of those people already thought that about developers before AI even came along. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is, whether AI is here or not, you're never going to be able to change the mind of someone like that. So basically, don't make time for those people, Don't hang around people that devalue you and your skill set. You need to surround yourself with people that truly value you and respect you. So I want to make that clear first of all. So now, when tools like AI have come along and allow anyone to vibe code something together, it can feel like we're definitely being pushed further into the shadows, like our skill set is even more invisible or dismissed essentially. But here's what I remind myself, and what I would remind any developer feeling the same way. Just because someone can build something with AI, it doesn't mean it's built good. When things break, or when things need to scale, or when real problems need solving, guess who they're going to call? You. So no, your experience, your thinking, your problem solving ability is not being replaced, it's just being repositioned. And we have the opportunity to lead this new wave of development, not resist it. So what would my message be to business owners who are both technical and not technical? If you're a business owner, whether you've got a dev background or not, it's really important to approach vibe coding with caution. Yes, tools like ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot and other AI coding assistants can accelerate development. That's true. Someone with little coding experience might be able to spin up a basic MVP or landing page with the help of AI. Again, that's also absolutely true. But let me be clear, it does not mean you can replace developers. And it does not mean you can now build high quality, scalable software for a fraction of the cost either. I get the temptation. You see these tools, you see what they can spit out in seconds, and you think, why are we paying X amount of dollars for a dev when we could get someone to vibe code it for 1/10 of the price? But here's the reality. AI doesn't understand your business logic. It won't architect systems to scale with your growth. Doesn't do QA, write maintainable code, or think ahead for future integrations. And when something breaks, which it will, you'll still need an experienced developer to come in and fix it anyway. Trying to shortcut development by cutting corners or hiring someone cheap to vibe code your product can cost you more in the long run, in time, money, and missed opportunities. Good developers don't just write code. They solve problems, anticipate issues, and align with your business goals. And they build things to last. If you're serious about your product or platform, you need someone who can blend AI with expertise, not someone who's just playing with shiny new tools. So my personal take on vibe coding as a developer of 8 years experience, at first, I wasn't too sure about vibe coding, and it felt pretty chaotic, and I definitely felt like, oh, have I just wasted my career? Like, is it just about to be Gonskis? But after actually using it in my workflow, here's what I found. It's making me a better developer. I know it sounds crazy to hear that, but I've been feeding it code that I already thought was clean, efficient, and solid. But in return, vibe coding has shown me alternative approaches. Sometimes more elegant, sometimes better optimized, and honestly, it's pushed me to level up my thinking when it comes to being a developer. The cool part is I'm not just copying and pasting, I'm actually learning. I'm retaining the patterns and the structure and the logic. Next time I face a similar problem, I don't even need to vibe code it again because I've actually retained that solution in my brain because I thought it was a good solution. I've already adapted those improvements into how I write and think about code now. But this is the important catch. The reason that I think this is because I only get this value because I'm already a developer. I already know what clean code looks like most of the time. I can spot bad practices and I can call out insecure logic, and I know whether or not the AI is returning me absolute garbage. That's exactly why our jobs aren't going anywhere anytime soon, because at the end of the day, it still takes a human with experience to know what's actually good, what's maintainable, and what's scalable. Anyone can vibe code a solution, but not everyone can vet it, refactor it, and build upon it with confidence. So while vibe coding is a fantastic tool, especially for speeding things up or exploring new ideas, you just have to remember this one sentence. AI is a tool, not a replacement. It's as simple as that. We're not being replaced, we're being supercharged as long as we know how to use it right. And honestly, that applies to any industry, not just the tech industry. Whether you're in marketing, whether you're a designer, whether you're a teacher, accountant, business owner, whatever. Like, whatever your field is, AI and automation aren't here to take your job. They're just here to amplify what you can do. The key difference is the people who understand the craft behind the tool will always be the ones to get the most out of it. Because when you know what good looks like, you can guide AI, improve its output, and move even faster. While others are still trying to figure out what button to press next. Vibe coding might feel new, messy, even controversial, but in the hands of someone who knows their craft, it's not a threat, it's an advantage. Honestly, I used to be really stressed about it, but I'm actually not anymore. I'm not losing sleep over AI or vibe coders trying to fake it till they make it. Because here's the truth. This might be a bit of a hard truth for some people, but those people who are trying to bullshit their way through this wave, the ones using AI to cut corners without understanding what they're doing, they'll eventually get caught out. And this applies to any industry. So you can't fake competence forever. Whether it's poor results, broken systems, or a client who's had enough, karma always has a way of catching up. So while they're busy trying to bluff their way through it, we'll be out here getting better, faster, and more valuable than ever. And look, if you are one of those people trying to take shortcuts with AI, please stop pasting entire solutions or code bases into ChatGPT, especially when they contain confidential or proprietary information. You might think you're saving time, but what you're actually doing is putting your company, your client, or even your team at risk. Not only is it irresponsible, it's the kind of thing that will absolutely come back to bite you. You're not just risking your reputation, you're putting your job on the line. There's a difference between using AI to assist with your work and using it to replace your thinking. And that difference is what separates real developers from liabilities. So I want to hear from you. Whatever industry you're in, whether you're a dev or not, whether you're a business owner or not, whether you're technically inclined or not, what do you think of vibe coding? One thing I will say that I actually do like about vibe coding is, yes, in this video, I've harped on mainly about how it's not going to replace developers and whatnot. I do actually like the fact that it gives people the opportunity to, dabble in development that haven't before or don't know how to. Vibe coding is potentially a good tool for that. Obviously, and the reason is because they can kind of see under the hood, like how many lines of code us developers would actually normally have put out before AI came along. So I think it's good for people to see that, because even though they think that they're going to build something really easy, I've got friends that have already vibe coded something and they're amazed by like what it can do, but at the same time they still come to me at the end of the day anyway for my advice and expertise and ask, hey Sam, like, does my code actually look any good that that Lovable has made for me, or that this AI tool has made for me? So to be honest, I actually thought, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. It's cool to be able to see like what someone has created with vibe coding, but at the end of the day, they're still coming back to me for my expertise anyway to ask for more help. What's even cooler about it is now they can kind of visually see on a basic level what that MVP or product they're building might look like. And now they're kind of inclined to be like, all right, I'm going to get a real developer to actually come in and basically rebuild this properly now, so that I've got a really solid product with a validated idea behind it, essentially. So thanks for listening to me ramble on about vibe coding. Would love to hear all of your thoughts on it. And if you've got any other topics you want me to talk about, I would love to do so. So yeah, thanks for watching and catch you next time. Peace.